We used two of the most advanced AI models to create two characters. We will put them face to face. Their arguments will be evaluated by 5 independent AI models across multiple criteria, scored from 0 to 100. This is AI Debates. Can the federal budget absorb partial cancellation?
Look, no. We're already running to $1 trillion deficits with 6% interest on the debt. Partial cancellation of $10,000, $20,000, whatever still costs $250 of $600 billion upfront, plus another $100 billion in lost interest over 10 years. That's real money. It's a new aircraft carrier every month for years. We'd either add it to the debt, higher rates, more inflation, or cut Medicare, defense, roads, pick your poison. CBO says every $100 billion in new borrowing adds $20, $30 billion in annual interest forever. We're already paying more on interest than on national defense. The budget can't absorb this any more than your checking account absorbs a surprise $50,000 charge. It's not free. Someone pays your kids, your parents on Social Security, or you at the gas pump when inflation kicks in. We can't keep pretending $1 trillion giveaways are painless. They're not. Yes, the federal budget can absorb partial cancellation, especially if it's targeted. The cost is significant, but manageable compared with overall federal spending and the long-term economic gains it generates. Relief boosts consumer spending, entrepreneurship, and homeownership, which increases tax revenue over time. By focusing on low and middle-income borrowers, we limit fiscal impact while maximizing economic benefit, making partial cancellation a sustainable investment rather than an irresponsible expense.
Is cancellation more cost-effective than long-term repayment programs?
Look, no way. Income-driven repayment IDR plans like Save already cap payments at 5 to 10% of income and forgive the rest after 20 to 25 years. The new Save plan is so generous the government expects to lose 80 to 90 cents on every dollar lent. Blanket cancellation just front-loads that same loss for $100, $800 billion tomorrow instead of spread out. You pay the exact same amount, but all at once, plus you lose the interest revenue forever and create a moral hazard jackpot. IDR at least keeps some skin in the game and doesn't hand windfalls to six-figure earners. Cancellation is IDR on steroids with no guardrails. If the goal is helping struggling borrowers fix and expand IDR, close the grad school loopholes, and make schools have skin in the game, that costs a fraction and doesn't explode the deficit. Cancellation is the most expensive, least targeted way to do what IDR already does. It's fiscal insanity. Yes, partial cancellation can be more cost-effective than long-term repayment programs. Income-driven repayment helps some borrowers, but it often extends debt for decades, accruing interest and leaving people financially constrained. Cancellation provides immediate relief, freeing income for spending, saving, and investment, which stimulates the economy faster. Targeted cancellation also avoids the administrative complexity and uncertainty of long-term programs, delivering a clearer, more direct economic and social impact.
Would it require raising taxes?
Look, anyone saying no new taxes is selling you magic beans. We're borrowing to $1 trillion a year already. Slap another $400, $800 billion on the tab for cancellation, and one of two things happens. 1. We just added to the debt, rates go up, inflation kicks everyone in the teeth, and future taxes have to rise to pay the interest. That's a tax, just sneaky and regressive. 2. Or Congress actually pays for it. Name me one politician brave enough to cut Social Security, Medicare, or defense by $500 billion. They won't. So they raise revenue, corporate taxes, income taxes, wealth taxes, whatever. Middle-class families end up paying either way. CBO, Wharton, CRFB all say the same. This isn't free money. It's either higher taxes today or crushing taxes tomorrow. Don't let them gaslight you. Someone's wallet is getting lighter, and it's yours. Possibly, but not necessarily in a drastic way. The cost of partial, targeted cancellation is significant, but the federal government can cover it through modest revenue adjustments, closing loopholes, or reprioritizing spending. Relief also stimulates economic activity, which increases tax revenue indirectly. If designed carefully, focusing on low and middle-income borrowers, cancellation can provide broad benefits without requiring large, immediate tax hikes for most Americans.
Does student loan cancellation distort federal budget priorities?
Look, absolutely it does. We're talking for $100, $800 billion in one swoop. That's more than the entire annual budgets for transportation, HUD, education, energy, and agriculture combined. That money could rebuild every crumbling bridge, fully fund chip and school lunches for decades, or give every poor kid in America a real shot at pre-K and trade school. Instead, we're writing massive checks to dentists making $300,000 and Ivy League MBAs. It's not just the dollars, it's the signal. Congress proves it can magically find $1 trillion when the loudest voters went to college, but suddenly we can't afford anything for the 60% who didn't. That warps every future priority. Highways, defense, child care, veterans all take a back seat to the next round of forgiveness demands. It's fiscally reckless and morally backwards. The working class gets the bill, the laptop class gets the bailout. That's not a budget. That's a betrayal. Not if it's targeted and fiscally responsible. Student loan cancellation is an investment in people and the economy, not a frivolous expense. By boosting consumer spending, entrepreneurship, and homeownership, it strengthens revenue streams and economic stability. When designed carefully focused on low and middle-income borrowers, it complements, rather than competes with, other federal priorities like healthcare, infrastructure, and education. It's about aligning the budget with long-term growth and equity.
Could cancellation contribute to inflation?
Look, yes, big time. We just saw it in 2021 to 22. Trillions in stimulus, debt pause, and forgiveness expectations dumped cash into the economy while supply chains were choked. Inflation hit 9%. Cancellation is another $500 billion plus in new purchasing power, mostly to upper middle-income households who spend or invest it fast. That bids up houses, cars, travel, exactly the stuff already driving inflation. At the same time, paying for it means more borrowing or printing, which weakens the dollar and pushes prices higher for everyone. Fed models say every $400 billion in deficit spending adds 0.2 to 0.5% to inflation over 2 years. That's real pain at the grocery store and gas pump for working families who never took a dime in student loans. Forgiveness isn't free relief. It's a hidden tax on every American through higher prices. We're still paying for the last round. Don't light the match again. Any effect on inflation would likely be modest. Partial cancellation frees income for borrowers, which can slightly increase spending, but the scale is small compared with the overall economy. Most relief goes to low and middle-income households, who are more likely to pay down debt or invest in essentials rather than luxury goods, limiting inflationary pressure. Thoughtful, targeted cancellation can stimulate the economy without causing meaningful upward pressure on prices.